Top story tonight is Iowa had 9 traffic fatalities over the 4th of July holiday weekend last year, making it the deadliest 4th of July weekend in over a decade. We have KTIV's Taylor Deckert in studio to talk about the plans that area law enforcement have now through the weekend. Taylor?
Gabriella, Iowa State Patrol is expecting traffic to pick up for the holiday weekend starting tomorrow. But today they started using the plane to patrol traffic from the sky on Interstate 29 in the Salix area. With everyone being out and about, Trooper Karen Yaniff expects this weekend to be one of Iowa's Patrol's busiest weekend so far this year. ISP hopes that people will use their seatbelts, slow down, follow the new hands-free law, and think about the risks of drinking and driving, as there will be a heavy law enforcement presence to help with the enforcement.
Impaired driving is going to be really huge this weekend. With the weather being potentially nice, there's going to be a lot of family barbecues happening, hanging out with some friends. So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to fail to plan ahead to try to make those necessary adjustments in order for them to get home safely.
In Iowa, a first OWI is a serious misdemeanor, which, if convicted, can include 48 hours to a year in jail, fines up to $1,250, and revoking a license for 180 days. Now, Dull Distributing, an Iowa-based beverage distributor, is offering a $10 Uber voucher to encourage all Iowans to plan ahead and make safe choices. On your screen is a link to the 4th of July voucher. You can scan that right now, or you can find it in this story on KTIV.com. This voucher is valid statewide beginning tomorrow, July 3rd at 5 p.m. and it expires Monday, July 7th at 2 a.m. Also, across state lines in South Dakota, there's going to be heightened patrols and checkpoints. We have the latest crash data from July of 2023. There were 185 crashes total over the 4th of July across the state. One accident was fatal, killing a person. There were 47 crashes that caused injury to a total of 65 people. Gabriella?
KTIV's Taylor Deckert. Great reminders there. Thanks, Taylor.